Sometimes in life, it can feel like people just don't care about each other, or perhaps don't trust one another. Especially in bigger cities, you can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. I came to Romania, of all places, with virtually no expectations or preconceived notions of what it would be like. On the very first day of my trip, I'm waiting with my friend for a bus to take me from the big city of Cluj, which is where the airport is, down to this tiny little village called Peșteana. When this woman, waiting in line next to us, asks us a question in Romanian before quickly realizing that we didn't understand a single word that she just said. We smile politely and get on the bus, but as we take a seat, she sits down across from us and starts a friendly conversation in English. We then proceed to have a 3-hour conversation about Romanian culture, Romanian history, she's a high school history teacher, and just generally sharing life experiences with one another. By the time that we had reached her stop in a nearby city, it felt like the bus ride had just flown by. She then introduced us to her son, who was picking her up from the bus station, and told us that we were welcome to stay in her house at any time during our stay in Romania. Now, this experience alone was a huge warm welcome from the country and left us with a great first impression of Romanian people. During our trip, we stayed in touch with our new friend through Facebook. Occasionally, we would ask her questions about how to get from place to place or what her recommendations were in different areas. And eventually, because she was just so open and friendly with us, we felt comfortable enough to reach out to her and actually make it a point to rearrange our schedule so that we could visit her in her city. Not only did she welcome us with open arms, she insisted that we stay with her for 2 days, gave us her bedroom while she stayed in a spare room. She prepared all kinds of simple, delicious food for us each day and was excited to share things like this amazing Romanian spread made from eggplant, this delectable little Romanian dessert made with milk and sugar, and some red wine that was homemade by her father. She also included us into her normal life and took us to a community orchestra that she participates in, where we learned a bit of music, a salsa and bachata class that she goes to every week, taught in Romanian of course, and a local wine bar where the owner can recommend you some amazing Romanian wines simply by describing the flavor that you like. And because she's a history teacher, she took us on a personal tour of her city, sharing its history, its culture, and its architecture. Oh, and pretty much everywhere that we went, we would run into these local people that would stop and say hello because they were either current students of hers or had been her students at some point during her 30 years as a teacher. Seriously, this whole experience was such an honor and a privilege because it made our time in Romania just so much more authentic and special. And you know, I guess this travel experience taught me that sometimes when you find yourself in unexpected places, you run into genuinely good-hearted people that just want to share their love for their land, their culture, and their history with anyone who's willing to be curious, open-minded, and appreciative. And that in a world that can sometimes seem closed off and distrustful, there are still these beautiful, authentic human connections to be had. And so, thanks, Daniela. Thanks for taking us in, thanks for taking care of us, and thank you for sharing a part of your heart. Mulțumesc.